In this video, we are going to use this question on the underconsumption of merit goods as an example to learn how to write a level 7-10 mark IB economics answer. I will go through the answer paragraph by paragraph and explain what the examiner is looking for in each part. This structure can then be used for any market failure 10-mark question. In the first paragraph, the goal is to define 2 to 3 key concepts and show the examiner that you understand what type of market failure you are analyzing. For example, in this question you can define market failure, merit goods, and allocative efficiency. These definitions must be accurate and directly linked to the question because they set up the entire analysis that follows. In the second part, you should include one clear and correctly labeled diagram. The examiner is checking 3 things here. First, whether the curves are correct. Second, whether the market equilibrium and the socially optimal output are correctly identified. Third, whether the diagram clearly shows underconsumption and welfare loss. Remember, all labels should be included. A correct diagram already earns marks and gives the examiner the impression, oh, this student must have revised thoroughly. Next, we have to start explaining the diagram. This paragraph is the most important part of the answer. Here, you must explain why market failure occurs, not just state that it exists. In this question, the key reason is the divergence between marginal private benefit and marginal social benefit. You should clearly explain that this divergence is caused by positive externalities of consumption. You should explain why MPB is not equal to MSB clearly and in detail in either of 2 ways. First, you can explain why MSB is high and MPB is low. Alternatively, you can explain how the externality is formed. After explaining the divergence, you must link it to the market outcome. The examiner wants to see that you understand how the divergence leads to QMKT being smaller than QOPT. This step connects economic theory to the diagram. If this link is missing, the answer becomes descriptive rather than analytical. In the final paragraph, you should explain the price change and the welfare loss. In this question, underconsumption means demand is too low, which leads to a market price below the socially optimal level. You should also identify the welfare loss, or potential gain in welfare, and show this clearly in your diagram. To summarize, a strong 10-mark answer follows this structure. Definitions. Diagram. Explanation of the divergence. Link to QMKT and QOPT. Welfare loss. Remember, explaining the divergence is the most important part of the whole question. This part will determine whether you are in the level 4 to 5 range or the level 6 to 7 range.